Hello, my name is Professor Justin Capalbo. I teach over in the Digital Media Production Department, and I also run the Makerspace on campus. I'm here today to teach you how to use the 3D printers, use the laser cutters, and figure out a way to bring your monuments to life. Talking with your professors, all of you are working with different types of monuments, so I want to show you kind of a wide range of ways that we can create things. So the first software we have is called Tinkercad. So you may have heard of AutoCAD before, a program that people use for engineering and kind of professional 3D modeling. Tinkercad is a really intuitive, kind of low-to-the-ground version of that, right? It's completely free, and all you need is to make a free account. So when you go to Tinkercad, you can see you have this kind of splash screen here, and you can create anything you really want, right? So if I click Create, I'm going to end up with this kind of like 3D work plane, right? So if I go to the top left, I can kind of maneuver around my little 3D space. I can zoom in, I can zoom out. And the way we work with this is we take positive shapes. So think back to elementary school, we're using building blocks, right, to create different things. We're going to take positive shapes like this square, and we can manipulate them, right? So we can rotate them. If I grab one of these little anchor points, I can stretch it out, I can make it taller, I can move it around, right? And I can change all these different properties of that shape. Now let's say I wanted to make a custom shape, right? I can take another shape, such as this little sphere here. I can move it down a little bit, maybe I want to make it a little larger. And what I can do is click this little hole button and make it something negative space. So I'm basically carving away and creating something new. So I might do a couple different little carvings onto here. Maybe I cut out this space, make that a hole. I kind of maneuver around. And when I'm done, all I do is I select everything and I click this little group button. And when I group something, it kind of solidifies it. And you can see I made this custom shape here, right? So for your monuments, you're probably working with a lot of kind of geometric shapes. Some of you may be doing more kind of organic shapes with people or things like that. But I'm going to show you an easy way to make people a little. Okay, so this little space here, we can make a ton of different shapes. There's customized things down here too, so if you wanted structures or creatures or things like that. But most things that you saw in your tour of the Makerspace were made with Tinkercad, right? So it's really robust. And when you're done, all you're going to do is click Export, and you're going to export it as an STL. And that's the file I can use for the 3D printers. Now, the workflow that I like to tell students to do is to first see if someone else has already done your idea or give you a new idea that you can start basing it off of, right? So the 3D printing community is really collaborative. You know, if I'm working on something, I might put it up onto the internet. People might remix it and edit it, take it down, work on it again, put it up again. It's very a collaborative thing. And there's a site called Thingiverse where it has tons of different 3D models that you can work with, right? So let's say I don't know, thinking about a cat. I'm just gonna write cat, right? You can see all the cats people have made before, and maybe there's something that's similar to what you're looking for, right? Maybe, let's say, this cat is really similar to what you wanted to work with. What you can do is two things, right? If this is gonna be part of your monument, right, you can always just send me this file, and it's as simple as going down, clicking File, Download, and sending me that file. You can see here that people have posted versions they've made, all right? You can see people have remixed it, right? So they made a little hat on it, they put, looks like the Rock's head on it, right? But what we can also do is if you want to use that for a base, if I go back to Tinkercad, and instead of export, I click import. I can import that cat directly into Tinkercad. And now I can start editing that cat and making my monument the way I want, right? So we can use Thingiverse and Tinkercad kind of together, right, to create something completely new. Now I know I spoke to Rama and they were thinking about having organic kind of people, right, like group of people. So there's a site called Hero Forge, and what it is almost like a custom video game creator, character creator, right? You can change their poses, you can change what their clothing are, you can change head, leg, every little part of somebody, right? You can even change what's on their little stage, right? So for a monument, there might be something that you would want on there, right? Let's say it's, I don't know, it's a monument for a sport kind of thing. That's a football, right? If it's a monument for, I don't know, here's some crystals, right? Whatever you may want to put on there. And when you're done, if you click buy, they can 3D print it for you, which is kind of pricey. But if you go all the way down where it says STL download, you could always download one of these. Now it does cost money, right? This one's $7.99, but they give you a file that you can then send to me. I can print, you know, game design, a lot of different classes will bake this into it where they have these kind of custom figures for their games. Now another option is the laser cutter, right? So the 3D printer is one of our additive processes. We're building up, building up, building up, right? But the laser cutter takes away, right? It's subtractive. So you can put acrylic, you can put wood, you can put a lot of different materials in there, and we can cut away, right? So for something like a monument, you could always laser cut something, right? A design, you can even draw it on paper and send me that drawing, and I could convert it to something that the laser cutter can take. And then we can put it on a little standee, right? So you can see here, right? This is all these figures standing this way. We have these figures here. And we can laser cut, I'm sure if I type laser cut buildings in maybe a monument that is more, you know, architectural, you know, we could find a lot of different ways. But really anything that you draw, if you draw in Adobe Illustrator, that's awesome. If you want to draw it by paper, I could definitely convert it in Illustrator myself though. So it's a really quick fix. But yeah, so these are all the different kind of ways that we can use the 3D printers, the laser cutters, and again, our goal is to be really intuitive, really kind of low to the ground, so the tools aren't super complex. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're free common hours Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And great, thanks so much.